clueless, careless and criminal. Clueless, careless and criminal.
Yep, in those comments he's talking about me, you and the whole drone community. Hi, I'm Ash from DroningON. Clueless, careless and criminal. No, I'm not talking about clickbait content creators. The comments you've just seen were made by an individual called Andy Sage. They were given whilst he was speaking to the UK's Science and Technology Committee. This is a government committee and essentially he's giving evidence, and therefore he certainly shouldn't be making any statements for which he feels the need to apologise for later. The topic of the committee was a discussion around the risks posed by drone technology to both manned aircraft and to individuals as well. Now, these comments, which were incredibly reckless, could be simply disregarded if Andy Sage was just another guy on the street with an opinion. But Andy Sage is not just another guy. Andy is the head of Unmanned Traffic Management for NATS. NATS are the National Air Traffic Service for the UK. These are the people who regulate the airspace of the UK, and Andy Sage is the guy who heads up the department responsible for policing and introducing security measures for drones. According to the biography on the NATS website, Andy has worked in the aerospace area for around 20 years, and actually with such arrogant and bigoted opinions, I'm shocked he even lasted that long. Luckily, these committees are recorded on video, so let's just watch that clip and a little bit more of it again.
Can we have the question Bill asked about the standardisation answered by one of you?
Yes, gladly. I mean, NATS feels very, very strongly that a consistent means needs to be presented to the public. We regard drone users in kind of three categories: clueless, careless, and criminal, and to try and help those that are careless or unaware, it needs to be made easy. And so we've made the step of implementing what we've called the Airspace User Portal, which provides the public and commercial operators a single place through which that permission can be granted.
What really shocks me the most, I think, is the fact that those comments didn't seem to just randomly be plucked out of the air. The way in which he uttered them actually sounded very much like these are categorisations that he and maybe part of his team or department use on a regular basis to informally categorise us drone operators. But one thing's for sure is that those comments were not ad hoc. They absolutely sounded well known and rehearsed to me. I'm also very disappointed that nobody in the room or on that committee called him out for those comments. I do think that if they'd have criticised business consultants in the same way with such silly categorisations, somebody in that room would have taken exception. The comments that he made caused outrage on social media, and so the day after he issued an apology on Twitter and onto the actual NATS website as well in the form of an official blog post. He tries to explain the context under which he made those comments, but quite frankly, they just don't really add up. And in fact, I don't even believe that the apology was his own initiative. I think he realised his error in being honest at a select committee, where you're supposed to be honest, and then realised he had to save his job. Either that or NATS pushed him to do it. Put simply, Andy Sage has brought NATS and his own reputation into disrepute. Because after this incident, how can anybody in the drone community trust him as the head of the unmanned division in NATS to secure the future freedoms of drone operators and to balance that fairness? Speaking on behalf of myself, I don't accept your apology. I think the comments you made in front of that select committee, where you don't lie, are very well ingrained in you, and I just hope that they're not the views or opinions of those within your teams. Globally, there is a tiny minority of drone operators who are careless, clueless and criminal, just as there probably are only a tiny minority of NATS employees who are clueless, careless and criminal. Comment below with your thoughts on this incident. Share this video to raise awareness and hopefully also to get Andy Sage relocated into an alternative role. Also, click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Thank you very much for watching.